Ladakh Legal Services Authorities for Lordship's keynote address on the defense segment.
Honorable Justice Suryakant, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and Executive Chairman, National Legal Services Authorities, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal, Minister of State, Law and Justice, Lieutenant Governor, Union Territory of Kashmir, Shri Manoj Sinha, Mr. Umar Abdullah, Chief Minister, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant General Prateek Sharma, Army Commander, Northern Command, Chief Justice and Judges of the High Court of Delhi, Allahabad, Punjab and Haryana, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, my sister and brother judges of the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Minister for Jal Shakti and Environment and Tribal Affairs Department, members of Parliament joining us, former Chief Justices and Justices of this court, respected soldiers and fellow citizens. It's an absolute honor and a privilege to stand before the guardians of our nation, our brave men and women who've taken oath not just to serve, but to sacrifice. Good morning to you all. It was 1632 when an English poet, Francis Quall, said, "God and soldier all men adore, in time of danger and not before. When the danger is past and all things righted, God is forgotten and the soldier slighted." But this is India, and in India's heart, the soldiers righted, never forgotten, never slighted. It might come as a surprise to many of us that the laws governing our armed forces, be that Army, Air Force or Navy, include a statutory mandate that whenever a serving soldier is on an official leave, to appear in a civil or a revenue court, the court is bound to prioritize hearing of his matter. The statutory obligation is clearly laid down in Section 32 of both Army as also the Air Force Act and Section 24 of the Navy Act. These provisions contain vital yet chronically underutilized legal safeguards. They postulate that upon submission of a certificate issued by the military authorities confirming that the soldier is on an official leave or has applied for leave specifically to appear in a court, the court is bound to prioritize the hearing and decide the matter within the duration of the sanctioned leave. And if for any reason, or despite best efforts and the endeavors made by the court, is not in a position to dispose of the matter finally, it is required to record reasons and make that reasoning accessible to the soldier, an essential procedural safeguard that upholds both transparency as also the value of the soldier's time. This statutory prescription is not a matter of discretion. It's not an act of courtesy either. That's the law to ensure that the soldier is not weighed down by the burden of pending litigation. The whole idea is to prioritize so that the legal worries don't accompany him to the front lines. This was the true essence and the very purpose, objective, and the idea of these legislations. But yet, over time, this legal protection has slipped quietly into obscurity. It finds no reflection in causeless. It doesn't feature in routine court practices. And many instances, even the judicial officers remain unaware of its existence. The law offers priority, but process at times delivers delay. It was in this background we were compelled to consider a pressing question as to what exactly have we done to give effect to this mandate. The realization was not rhetorical. It stirred a movement of self-introspection. And I'm glad to share with you all, we've taken the first step. But before I touch upon the small little initiatives that we've taken in the recent past, I'm equally conscious and realize that it's just not possible, it's just not feasible for us to embark on this journey alone. Therefore, we earnestly look forward to a meaningful exchange of ideas and constructive engagement, including the insights, experiences, and valuable guidance of our other high courts and state legal service authorities. Your shared perspective will undoubtedly enrich and strengthen the collective pursuit. Adverting to the measures we've recently undertaken, I may share upon realizing that Zilla Sainik boards possess extensive litigation-related data of ex-servicemen. Accordingly, we coordinated with them, mined the data from court information system, tapped every available source of information. Thousands of SMSs were sent to the litigants and lawyers. A dedicated Google form is launched on the High Court website, and voluntarily submissions are being invited for identification. Thus far, approximately 600 cases have been identified in the High Court as well as the District Court, and it's a work in progress. Prioritization was the next step that naturally followed, and then the IT committee of the court, headed by Brother Shukla, rose to the occasion, who leveraged the power of technology and developed a dedicated software patch that now enables automatic flagging of cases involving serving personnel and ex-servicemen. Additionally, a real-time urgent matter indicator is also being introduced directly into.
Feeling stuck in your IT job? Confused about which tech path to take? Well, all three are booming careers. But where do you begin? This free masterclass gives you clarity. Learn the right skills, tools and rules to break it. Plus get hiring insights from top companies like.
The cause list both at the High Court as also the District Judiciary, marking such cases for priority attention from the outset. As a part of the institutional commitment to ensure timely and seamless access to justice, the High Court has developed an in-house web application, DPCMS, the Defense Personnel Case Management System. The web application, which will be formally launched in some time from now, is a comprehensive, user-focused tool designed specifically for the legal needs of serving and retired defense personnel. Through DPCMS, users will be able to register their cases, monitor updates in real time, apply for legal aid, submit hearing requests, including for video conferencing, and resolve queries directly from the phones. But alongside technological innovation, there existed a pressing need for structural judicial reform, and I take pride in sharing with you all, my parent court, the High Court of the Punjab and Haryana, long demonstrated an institutional foresight in this regard, as Volume 1, Chapter 6, Part A, B, and C of the High Court Rules and Orders, detailed procedure is laid down for suits by or against the members of the armed forces, including provisions under the Indian Soldiers Litigation Act 1925. And notably, now this is something really interesting, notably Part B outlines the procedure to be followed under the SAT Act, expressly mandating the trial courts to adhere to its provision in letter and spirit. Inspired by this model, and in keeping with the commitment to meaningful reform, the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh introduced comprehensive amendments to the civil rules of practice for the guidance of the district judiciary, mandating that cases involving serving and retired defense personnel receive focused and expedited attention at the district level. Yes, one thing led to another. I'm equally glad to share with you that, recognizing the need for institutional synergy, High Court proposed an amendment to Rule 13 of the Jammu and Kashmir Legal Service Authorities rules, framed under Section 28 of the Legal Service Authorities Act 87, for inclusion of Secretary Zilla Sainik Board as a statutory member of DALSA. The proposed amendment was thus a step aimed at institutionalizing coordination between legal service authorities and the ex-servicemen community, thereby enhancing access to justice for veterans and their families. The proposal was formally submitted to the government of Jammu and Kashmir, and I express my deep gratitude to worthy Lieutenant Governor Shri Sinha for ensuring the prompt clearance of the proposal. In fact, the notification has been issued yesterday evening itself. As a result, Rule 13 now stands amended, formally integrating Secretary Zilla Sainik Board into the District Services Legal Authorities framework. We feel privileged to inform this august gathering that we are joined today by our Veer Naris and ex-servicemen, whose presence here is both humbling and profoundly inspiring. As part of the pioneering initiative to promote grassroots legal support, Veer Naris and ex-servicemen have been engaged as paralegal volunteers. To begin with, 15 Veer Naris and 8 ex-servicemen have been engaged across UT of J&K and Ladakh and certificates of engagements will be